Okay, guys, we're trying something different here. This is on YouTube, and we'll be giving you a link at the end of this thing. It's a total experiment. I'm not sure how it's going to work out, but at any rate, we will give it a shot. Okay, so Chapter 1, Section 6, Career Firefighter Selection, the Career Firefighter Selection Process. We're going to summarize the career firefighter selection process. So the process starts obviously with recruitment. It's advertised in various media. A couple of places for you to look is fire.ca.gov for CAL FIRE, USA Jobs for the federal wildland agencies or the military, Forest Service, Park Service, Bureau of Land Management, Bureau of Indian Affairs, and Fish and Wildlife Service all have firefighters. The Defense Department hires civilian firefighters. You can look on Facebook. If you follow a certain fire department, they will have announcements. Los Angeles Fire Department, for instance, has announced in the past when they're doing their recruitment. So Facebook's a good resource. You can look at city and county web pages. Oftentimes they will advertise recruitment efforts online. So preparation, you need to prepare your application. It needs to be thorough. You need to answer all questions. In the case of CAL FIRE with the Firefighter 1, your examination is your application. In other words, anything that's on the application that they ask for, you need to fill it out to the best of your ability. The same with your resume. If they tell you there's a certain format for the resume, you need to follow that because that's how you're graded. That's how they take a look at you. Fire departments often have a physical ability test, a CPAT. You go to different locations and are given a physical ability test. They can range from strictly exercises that you do to actually handling fire equipment, moving ladders and things like that around. It just depends on the jurisdiction what they're going to test you on. So we talked a little bit about applications. If you in fact are going to take a written exam, they're designed so that those without fire service experience will still be able to score well. So in other words, they're not going to ask you any fire chemistry, anything like that. They're going to ask you general aptitude, mathematics, reading and comprehension, some mechanical type stuff, things that just test your general knowledge. So they're not that hard. They're going to ask about recognition observations. So they may have a map on a page and that will show you a drawing of where a fire is located and where your fire station is located. And they'll give you a map and you have to map the quickest route to the fire. Things like that. Or they might show you a series of pictures and you should pick out different objects in those pictures. If that confuses you guys, give me an email and I'll answer that more clearly for you if you have questions. Some departments do a psych evaluation, a psychological evaluation. CAL FIRE does not. CAL FIRE also doesn't do background checks. Most departments do. Most municipal and county fire departments do a background and a psych evaluation. So your physical ability test measures your physical strength and aerobic condition. And it's used to weed out people that may have physical problems and aren't suitable for the job. And the type varies wildly with each jurisdiction. So it would be in your best interest to do a Google search and look up physical ability tests. And then you have an interview. You'll have an oral interview, questions asked in front of several members of a board. Most of the time, the board will be made up of at least 3 people, generally a couple of people from the fire department you're trying to get hired by, and some civilian position. They may or may not be employed by the department. They could be employed by the city as a secretary or the head of a department, something of that nature. So it'll be a couple of fire service people and a civilian on the board. And then you'll have what's called a second interview. We used to call it a chief's interview. It's a more intimate interview with the fire chief or members of the staff. So it'll be a one-on-one, and it'll be a little bit more relaxed because you've moved up that much further in the process. So if you've got to the chief's interview and they have job openings and they're still hiring, that's a good sign. All firefighters, regardless of rank, have a probationary period. Except in CAL FIRE's case, seasonal firefighters do not have a probationary period. As soon as you promote to firefighter 2, then you have a 1-year probation and a 3-year apprenticeship. The same with fire apparatus engineer in the CAL FIRE system. You have a 1-year probation and a 3-year apprenticeship. And after that, captains and chief officers have a 1-year probationary period. Okay, so that is a very brief overview of your selection process. Some places are more complicated than others. Others are very simple. You have an interview and you get hired, basically. All right. So as always, if there's any questions, shoot me an email and I will try to give you the best answer I can. All right. Keep reading the book. Get ready for your first quiz on Friday and work on those welcome videos.